All right, shalom, shalom. I'm Officer Luke, and next to me I have
Soldier Jeramiel.
All right, so we're going to get right into it. Open up with Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
All right, so it says we're supposed to consider the days of old. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. So the way we go about remembering those days of old is first we have to search them out, and we search them out by going to our fathers. And once we meditate on what our fathers have showed us, then everything starts to come back to us. We start remembering our ways. We start returning to our heritage. But first, we have to have that humbleness to go to our elders, the bishops, the deacons, and like I always say, our elder brothers, the captains, and those higher rank officers. From there, read verse 4.
Verse 4. He is the rock. His work is perfect.
So they're going to tell us that God is God, our Lord. Well, I would say our Lord Jesus Christ. He is our rock. But of course, the Most High above all. Read on.
For all his ways are judgment, a God of truth and without iniquity. Just and right is he.
So it says just and right is he. So everything God has done is just and right. Read on.
They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children.
So it says that we have corrupted ourselves. It was not the Most High God. It was us that corrupted ourselves. So it says that their spot is not the spot of his children. Meaning the way he made us wasn't what we were showing forth. Meaning we changed ourselves into something that was unrecognizable to the Most High God. Read on.
They are perverse and crooked generation.
We are perverse, meaning we've strayed away from all that God has given us. We become that degenerate plant that you read about in Jeremiah. And it says in crooked generation, meaning he made us straight. He gave us straight commandments and he made us straight and upright. But now we're crooked. Read on.
Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that brought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee?
Read on.
Remember the days of old.
So he asked us a question, then he turned around and said, remember the days of old. Read on.
Consider the years of many generations.
Consider the years of many generations. So for us to consider the years of many generations, we have to do a diligent search also. So every brother and every sister that wants to know their history, they're going to have to do a diligent search, because a lot of stuff got lost in slavery. A lot of stuff that we once knew, we no longer know. So from there, get that first article, the Wikipedia article. So this is how we consider the days of old. We meditate on what God gives us, and we search out the things that are hid from our people, and we bring them forth. Just as our elders did, so do we. We're trying to be the best example and basically follow the footsteps that they left, because they follow the footsteps of Christ. You got that article? Bring it up. All right, there we go.
Strong black woman. The strong black woman schema is defined by scholars as an archetype of how the ideal black woman should act. This has been characterized by three components: emotional restraint, independence, and caretaking.
So it says that it's defined by three characteristics. Put it back up. It says emotional restraint, meaning she holds back her emotions. But God says that he made them naturally emotional. And then it says independence, meaning they can do it all by themselves, meaning they don't need a man. And then it says caretaking. You got to think about that. How are you caretaking if you're showing emotional restraint? And you're supposed to be that emotion. You're supposed to show those emotions to your child. And then it says independent. How are you doing that independent? Caretaking means you're able to take care of your household duties, your family. Read on.
Strong black women must hold back their emotions to avoid appearing weak.
So it says that they have to hold back their emotions from appearing weak, meaning they can't look vulnerable. But come on, man, that's the man's responsibility. But this is what comes with the strong black woman. Read on.
Portray themselves as strong and independent while being responsible for the problems of others, and take care of those problems as if it were their own.
All right, now scroll down to, I think it's history right below that. Scroll down to history, click history, second paragraph.
Black feminist writers have spoken up about the misinformation surrounding the strong black woman schema and how it holds black women to an unrealistic and unachievable standard.
So it says that the strong black woman is unrealistic, meaning it's a figment of the black woman's imagination. It's something made up. It's not true. Now, from there, get the first video. The first video.
The strong black woman stereotype is ingrained in American culture. It has a long history, about as old as Morgan Freeman and Betty White combined. Now you may be wondering, what is a strong black woman? It's the idea that black women are emotionally resilient.
Pause it.
Natural.
Read that.
Strong black woman, noun. Mythical black woman who is resilient, selfless, and needs zero help.
There you go. That's independent right there. That's that independent, strong black woman. Read on.
Synonyms: bad B, that one.
So she's a bad B. That's what she is. And we hear this all the time in the black community. This is what we hear from our women, and they celebrate it. Press play.
Selfless, too proud to ask for help, and
wait, pause it real quick.
No reason.
And then this stuck out. That one. How is she that one? That means she's the head. She is not that one. She is below the man. So press play.
Sources. So basically, every character played by Viola Davis. The irony is the strong black woman stereotype was started by black women to combat all the negative ones. See, in the aftermath of slavery, there were really only two stereotypes of black women. You were either some sex temptress Jezebel or a mammy who was just there to slaughter people in her.
All right, so it says that you were either a Jezebel or a mammy, a breastfeeding mammy. You know who put this on us? The white man. It was not the black man that put this on you. Because the black man didn't see you like that. The black man was going through the struggles with you and marrying their women in slavery and building families in slavery. But the white man is the one who put this on you. So press play. Play on.
In response, black suffragette Mary Church Terrell coined the strong black woman motto, lifting as we climb. And I get what she was going for, but lift as we climb? Even bodybuilders don't do both at the same time. You can't expect a black woman to do more than Schwarzenegger in his prime. But over time, society...
That's it. All right. So it says, she said Mary Church Terrell. If you get a chance, Google who she is. She is actually an Edomite. She's a Bob Marley. She's has a white father and and she married a black person. But she's an Edomite. So she's the one who came up with this term. So she actually did a lot for black women, to be honest. But she was actually an Edomite. From there, get the Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch. All right. We got a matter of fact, not Willie Lynch. Get the legacy, a legacy of African American achievements. All right. This is the book cover. All right, go to the next shot. All right, scroll in. All right, scroll down. Go down. Read that, the annihilation.
The annihilation of black families was one of slavery's vilest offenses, and it affected Frederick Douglass profoundly. Years later, he still insisted that the worst cruelty of slavery was that it abolished fatherhood and motherhood.
So one of the worst things that happened in slavery was the destruction of the black family. That was the worst thing. From there, get me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15, and then we're going to go to 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God told us that he was going to put curses on us and they would overtake us. Verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So God said he was going to bring us into slavery again with ships. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
So God told us that we would be sold into slavery and no man will redeem us out of that captivity. When we were sold on those ships, it says bondmen and bondwomen, meaning our women were sold with us. They were destroyed with us. This is something that you actually have to once you start studying your history and you start understanding who you are, you have to come with the realization that these people are our enemies that put this stigma on us. That strong black woman that our women stand so strongly for, so stiffly for. So from there, what do I want? Get me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So God said he would scatter us around the four corners of the earth. He scattered us everywhere. That's why everywhere you go, you can find a black person living in the ghetto. That's why every state, every country, everywhere you go, you find us in the lowest, what is it? You find us in the lowest conditions. You find us in the lowest conditions. And in those lowest conditions, you always find bad, what do they call them? Bad bees in those conditions. Females pushing that feminine spirit. And then it also says on here that where those ships stop, we will worship wood and stone. The two biggest religions, Christianity and Islam. Those are the two biggest religions. And the Islam on this side of the earth is the same thing as Christianity. It's the same exact thing. They push the same agenda and they're both destroying our women. But one thing I say, the Christian church has done way more damage than any religion on the face of the earth. All right, from there get verse 32. Because after they scattered us, what happened? Once we got sold on the plantations. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand.
So it says our sons and daughters shall be given unto another people. So our sons were separated from the family and our daughters. So this was that destruction of the black family that Frederick Douglass spoke of. And it says, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. Meaning we won't have any power to get our kids back. All we can do is just cry, wail, and wish that we had them back. But in our hands, we had no might. We had no might to get our children back. And all we would do is just think about us to the point that depression set in. To the point that we looked for our enemies for reassurance to feel good about ourselves in some way. So over a process of time that happened. But all this was part of their plan. So real quick, pull up Willie Lynch. Everybody should have this book, the Willie Lynch book. All right. All right. All right. There we go.
Let's make us a slave. What do we need? First of all, we need a black nigger man, a pregnant nigger woman, and her baby nigger boy. Second, we will use the same basic principle that we use in breaking a horse, combined with some more sustaining factors. Reduce them from their natural state in nature.
So it says reduce them from their natural state in nature. What was the natural state in nature? What you read in the beginning where it said, let us make a slave. What do you need? It says, first of all, we need a black nigger man and a pregnant nigger woman, meaning we need that married couple with their pregnant child. And what are we going to do? What we read in Deuteronomy 32. We're going to separate their children. We're going to separate the family, and we're going to rape the woman. Read on.
Whereas nature provides them with the natural capacity to take care of their needs and the needs of their offspring.
We were self-sustaining. Read on.
we break that natural string of independence from them. And
so therefore, if you break that natural string of independence, because the black woman depended on her black husband. He was always the lead. How do you break that? You make her dependent on you. Read on.
And thereby create a dependency state, so that we may be able to get from them useful production for our business and pleasure.
So the useful production, you can take that off the screen. The useful production was for the black woman to produce more of the same product. Meaning she became the product line for the white man to push out more strong black women and more effeminized black men. That's what it was. And it happened over a process of time. They still doing this to this day. So from there, get me Jeremiah 17:4.
Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
So what did God give us? Pull up that Willie Lynch again. Pull it up. Pull it up. What did he give us? He gave us that natural string of independence in our family, in our household. That's what he gave us. But what happened? Take it down. Take it down. Read that again.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Scattered abroad.
For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
All right. So the fire that we kindled in the Lord's heart is what caused what we call today a strong black woman. And it was just a side effect of everything that we caused upon ourselves. The strong black woman came from us not keeping the commandments, from us not following our God, from us not wanting to be Israelites and keep the law, statutes, and commandments that were given to us. So the strong black woman is a direct extension of the curses of Deuteronomy 28. That proves that we are the Israelites. So real quick, Lamentations 4:17. To find out about the dependency.
Lamentation chapter 4 verse 17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
So that's that dependency right there. It says, as for us, our eyes as yet failed for vain help. We looking for help because we don't have any might. So without having might, we look to the other nations for that help because we feel like they're going to help us. But they haven't helped us since we've been here. We call welfare help. We call government assistance help. That is not help. We call that little check that they gave us for COVID-19. We call that help. But that is not help. From there, get me, what do I want? Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 16. Because let's see what help they gave us. We read about it in Deuteronomy 28 and 64. What we thought was help, but it was not help. Read that.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 16. Thus in process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong.
What was the ungodly custom? The strong black woman. Teaching more women to be strong black women. They can do it by themselves, independent. Read.
Was kept as a law. And graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
So it says those graven images. What was the law that was set up? Christianity. That was that new law in the earth. That was that new way of thinking that our people started going by. They started thinking that, hey, let's go to grandma and skip grandpa. That's why when the police come to the house, they talk to the woman first. They never talk to the man to find out what the situation is. They go straight to the woman because they don't see us as strong, as a strong unit. They don't see us as caring for each other. You hardly see a black woman say, talk to my husband. She's usually there alone with her kids and she's calling the police on her baby daddy. That's usually the result. So from there, that was it on that?
Yes, sir.
All right, from there, get me Isaiah 32. Because God said something. He sent the prophets. The prophets prophesied about this. They told us what to do. Read.
Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease.
So God told us to tell you women, you are at ease. You're comfortable in Babylon the Great. Read.
Hear my voice, ye careless daughters.
God says that you sisters are careless as hell. You don't give a damn. That's why you're called ostrich in Job. That's why you're called ostrich in Lamentations, because you don't care. You're careless. Read.
Give ear unto my speech.
That's it on that?
Yes, sir.
Read it again from the top.
Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech.
All right. So God says, give ear unto his speech. So that's what God told us to tell our sisters to do. But you know what's funny? The strong black woman in the church, she's going to say, well, what about Deborah? Deborah was strong. Deborah did it on her own. She was independent. She was a prophetess. Let's get Deborah. Get Judges chapter 5 and verse 7. Because I know there's a Christian out there that's probably like, it was, what about Deborah? And then you probably got some in Israel that say that too. That's why some of them might name themselves Deborah, because they feel like they strong black women. Let's find out about that strong black woman.
Judges chapter 5, verse 7. The inhabitants of the villages ceased. They ceased in Israel, until that I, Deborah, arose. That I arose a mother in Israel.
So she arose a mother in Israel. Not an independent, strong black woman. She rose as a mother. Meaning a mother is someone who cares for the nation. Someone who is going to instruct those that are going out of the way. So read on. Let's see what she did.
They chose new gods. Then was war in the gates.
She's telling you the problem that was going on in Israel. They were worshiping new gods. They were in Christianity and all these different religions, Islam, so on and so forth. Read on.
Was there a shield or spear seen among 40,000 in Israel?
Read.
My heart is toward the governors of Israel.
Her heart was toward the men of Israel. You don't read in the scripture where the governor was ever a woman in Israel. The governor was always a man in Israel. Read.
My heart is toward the governors of Israel that offer themselves willingly among the people. Bless ye the Lord.
And then she said, blessed be the Lord for our leaders, for our elders. That's basically what she said. From there, get me Numbers chapter 12 and verse 1. Because we're going to find out that we have a foremother who actually tried to be that strong black woman. And let's see what happened when she tried to apply that strength that she thought she had. Read that.
Numbers chapter 12, verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married.
Read.
For he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it.
So they was talking slick. They was talking slick. You know they was talking heavy. You know the black woman, she talks heavy. She's probably like, they ain't chose you. He chose us too. We chosen too. I am a leader too. I'm the oldest sister. I don't know what he think he is. He think he over us. You know the black woman. She was probably rapping. Man, I'm telling you, she was probably selling out. She probably boosted up Aaron. She was like, Aaron, we gonna go check this nigga. We gonna let him know that God chose us too. All right, let's see what happened. Jump down to verse 15. Verse 9.
Verse 9. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow.
What did God do when God heard it? Hey, read that part again. What did he do?
Miriam became leprous.
She became an Edomite. Oh, Lord. She went from black to white. Read.
At white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
So then they started repenting. Aaron went to the Lord and started repenting. Aaron said unto Moses, because he knew that Moses was the direct connection to the Lord. It's funny. Aaron was in line pretty much the whole time. And then all of a sudden, here comes the black woman infesting his mind with all this garbage. And that's the same thing that happens in Israel today. The black woman gets inside of her husband's head. Next thing you know, he's falling out. But it's funny. He turned her into a Edomite. That's just what our women are. Today, they are Edomites in the house trying to oppress the black man. Read on.
Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, Heal her now, O God, I beseech thee. And the Lord said unto Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, should not she be ashamed 7 days?
You disrespect your daddy like that? Guess what? I'm gonna make you white. I'm not gonna spit in your face. I'm gonna make you white, what you want to be. I'm gonna make you just like that serpent that beguiled Eve in the garden. Read.
Let her be shut out of the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again.
So after that, she was received again. Is that verse 14?
Yes, sir.
All right. From there, get Esther chapter 1 and verse 15. Why did the Lord have to do this? He had to do this. Because you know black people, especially black women, if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. They're going to take a whole yard. They're going to take as much as they can from you. Read.
The book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 15. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law? Because she hath not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlain.
So she didn't do what she was supposed to do. She was commanded to come out to the king because he wanted to stunt in front of the men with his beautiful wife. That's what he wanted to do with his wife. But you know what? She refused. She refused. That some women are like this today. They refuse to walk from one side of the house to the other side of the house. And they know they heard their man call them. They ignored them. This is what our women do. So what did God have to do? Just what did God have to do? Read on.
And Mecumen answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all of the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
So she didn't do wrong just to herself. She did wrong to all the people. Because when your wife disrespects you, or you have a disrespectful, strong black woman in the house, that means it ain't no 50-50. That means it's someone above you. And that has to be corrected immediately. So for y'all brothers that's proven, make sure you ain't got a strong black woman. Because she's going to destroy you. And guess what? More sisters are going to see that, especially if you're in a leadership position. And what are they going to do? It's going to start spreading abroad. That's why God had to check Miriam. Because of that. Read verse 17.
For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. Likewise.
So we're going to stop right there for time's sake. So she would not come before her Lord. She would not come before the king. This is the ruler. Right now, we don't rule nothing. And you got to think about if she did that to the king, you know she's going to do that. That you know the sisters that don't have kings are going to try their husbands. That don't have that they man is a peasant. So these sisters going to disrespect. They're going to raise up and start talking all that smack because that's what black women do. So real quick, from there, get Jeremiah 31 and 22. Because the Lord, he put curses on us. Let's see one of the curses that occurred because we did not obey his commandment. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter?
31 and 22?
Yes, sir.
Read.
For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth.
So what did God create new in the earth? Meaning it has never been seen before. This is the first time you're going to see it. Read.
A woman shall compass a man.
Meaning a woman is going to be over the man. You're going to have a strong black woman. And you can't tell me any other nation has a strong black woman in it. Because you don't hear about the strong white woman, the strong Chinese woman, the strong Arab woman, but you do hear about the strong black woman. Google it. That's what's this is something that God said he would do. This identifies us plainly that we are Israel because we are the only people on the face of the earth that have this going on in our communities. Real quick, get that second link I gave you. You got me? Next link. All right. Go ahead. Read that.
The first record in the media is D.W.
Wait. Read what was searched in Google.
The first use of strong black woman.
Now read.
The first record in the media is D.W. Griffith's 1915 film, The Birth of a Nation.
The Birth of a Nation. This is a racist movie about them hating our people. Read on.
Where the mammy figure defends her master's plantation during the Civil War.
So the strong black woman, it was mammy. And what was her duty? She was defending the white man. That was what was going on. She was defending the white man. She was being, pull it back up, pull it back up, pull it back up, pull it back up. Come on, brother. Come on. All right. It says the first record in the media, meaning they had a plan. Media. They used the media to push their agenda, which they're still doing today. Today, they do it by means of television shows, Instagram, movies, any avenue you could think of, Facebook, all that, YouTube, all of them are avenues for them to push this same plantation mindset of the strong black woman. Give me Psalms chapter 10 and verse 7.
The book of Psalms, chapter 10 and verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
So it says, read it again.
His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud.
So it says his mouth is full of cursing, deceit, and fraud. Read on. We're going to come back to the top. Read verse 9.
Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages.
So he hides in the lurking places. That's your ghettos. That's the reason why they're in every ghetto. That's the reason why they push certain things in the ghetto. You have Arab stores, Chinese market, Chinese food spots. You got all these different things that our people don't own in our community. Read on.
In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth and waits secretly as a lion in his den.
So that goes back to James 5 and 1 Peter 5 and 8. As a roaring lion seeking to about whom he may destroy, because that's what they're doing. They're sitting in the lurking places trying to cause our people to sin. They put drugs in our community. They basically make a environment that's festered with death, drugs, and crime. That's it. That's what they do. But read the top again, for verse 7.
Verse 7, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud.
So his mouth is full of cursing, deceit, and fraud. What is the deceit? That he's the Jews? What is deceit? That our women aren't beautiful in their natural state? What is the deceit? That the black man is lazy? What is the deceit? The deceit of all these things that they have placed in society to make our women, and to make us, starting with the men, to make our men and women feel like they're like they're nothing. This is the deceit. The deceit is the strong black woman. Read on.
Under his tongue is mischief.
Deceit and what?
And fraud.
Now pull up that the source of fraud. Pull that up real quick. Fraud.
The definition of fraud: an instant of the use of dishonest methods to acquire something of value.
So it says the dishonest use, it says that an instance of the use of dishonest methods to acquire something of value. What was the value? We read about it in Willie Lynch. For good economics, you destroy the family nucleus by separating the home. You destroy the kids, the women. And what do you get out of that? Pull up the next thing I have. Pull up the next thing. What do you get from making single parent households and giving the woman the strength? Read that.
Following the money of mass
Incarceration, brother. Now scroll down, scroll out a little bit, scroll out and scroll down. Scroll out and scroll down. Scroll down to the chart. All right, there you go. Read that.
Public correction.
No, read the top. It says following the money of mass incarceration. Now read. We're gonna read a few of these. Read that.
Public correction agencies.
How much?
80.7 billion.
Read the
Judicial and legal. 29 billion.
That's the criminal law. Scroll down.
Public employees. 38.4 billion.
So we only gonna read the big ones. Read the healthcare.
Healthcare. 12.3 billion.
Policing.
$63.2 billion.
Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Now get that annual.
Annual total, $182 billion.
This is that good economics that came from creating the strong black woman. The school to prison pipeline, that's what's created. So in the process of putting our men in prison, you have all this money coming in. All this generation, they're generating all this money from our brothers being locked up. And when you find out about the statistics, the majority come from single parent homes. So from there, get the video, the next video.
My position is that the black woman's disrespect and rebellion against the leadership and the authority of the black man is a direct cause of the breakdown in our black family structure. Now, of course, there are many black people who consider those fighting words because as black women, we have never been subject to the kind of examination that our men have been subject to since we have been here.
Facts.
We have been somewhat protected and shielded from any kind of critiquing about our personal behavior, whereas our men have always been up for examination.
Always.
The book is not an attack on black women. I have never said that all black women do everything that I list in my book.
That's a disclaimer. She had to throw that out there because she knows some of y'all black women gonna get emotional.
But most of us do some of the things that I've listed in my book. And I do say that it is not because of generalizations that we are all victimized by some of the negative patterns of behavior in the book, but the book just represents our collective contribution. This is some of everything that we have done or that we do daily that contributes to the breakup of our relationship, the destruction of our man, and the failure of our children to be able to function. They did not tell us that all of that being my own person and I'm independent would lead to separation, loneliness, celibacy, and lesbianism. They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, my own car, so I don't need no man.
I'm independent.
I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with being with no man.
Right.
We have some serious relationship problems that nobody has been able to address us on because everybody wants to pretend that this is not going on. Over 60% of our women are single, widowed, separated, or divorced. They don't have a man.
Strong black women.
I just came out of Florida and they got a housing complex that the Urban League built, which is a black organization that is for women and children only. They say they don't allow any men in there. I didn't have time to deal with it, but I talked about them real bad. That's the silliest program I've ever heard of.
All right, stop it. Get that next link. So she basically just spoke about the problem in the black community with our women, how there's really no accountability for the black woman. And part of that accountability is recognizing how they've been destroyed and all the things that the black man goes through. But that doesn't get spoken about. So for time's sake, it's a lot in that video that could be touched on. Give me the next link. Give me the next link. All right, read that.
African American family structure. The family structure of African Americans has long been a matter of national public policy interest.
Now, wait. Now scroll down. I really want the chart. There we go. Read that.
Non-marital birth rates in the United States from 1940 to 2014.
So this is 1940 to 2014. Right now we're in the year 2022, almost to 2023. We halfway there. And look at what color is black? What color is that, brother? Is that purple? Yeah, that's purple. They made black purple. So the percentage of the single parent black homes, the non-marital birth rates, we're above 70%. Then when you look at the Latinos are above 50%. Then when you look at Native Americans are right under the so-called black man. They're right under Southern Kingdom, meaning we're the highest at pretty much everything. Everything that's destructive to us, we're the highest at. And these are all single parent black single strong black parent homes. That's what majority of them are. Because guess what? Hispanic man, you are black too. Guess what? Native American man, you are black too. Now get the next link. Got it? All right, read that.
Black on black crime. The cause, the consequences, the cures.
So this is going over the basically this. Read the top. Go to the very top. Where is it coming from?
U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs.
So this is coming from the U.S. Department of Justice. There is no justice for the black man, and they know it. Go down to the second paragraph, right there. Abstract.
Although the black community is not responsible for the external conditions that systematically created breeding grounds for crime, the community has been the responsibility of doing what it can to attack the problem from within.
They try to attack the problem, but what did they use to try to attack the problem? More policing. They set up a park. All this stuff, churches. These are the things that they use to try to help the black community. But we just watched in the sister's video where she said that they build these structures and they give government assistance, but they tell you keep the man out of the house. Read on.
This response is needed because such crime creates mistrust, uncertainty, fear, and anxiety in the community. More blacks were killed by other blacks in 1977 than died in the entire 9-year Vietnam War.
So that was back then. Imagine today. But you know what? We can't tell our black women nothing. Pull up that next video. We can't even tell our black men anything. Because guess what? The majority of our black men don't give a damn. They help pushing this. So the problem with our community is us. The only way to fix this is by us. Play that video. I want the Candace Owens video. Candace Owens. I believe I sent everything in order. Let me see.
Is a complete and utter myth.
Okay,
and until we're willing to have...
I never said that either.
She's not saying I'm not saying you did. I haven't accused you of saying anything. I'm just saying what I'm actually saying. That's it, okay? The number one issue facing our community is father absence. Father absence, okay?
I disagree, but okay.
Excuse me?
I disagree, but okay.
Okay, well, you said you brought up the prisons, right? If you grow up without a father in the home, you're 20 times more likely to end up behind bars. You want to know who I got that from? President Barack Obama. He talked about the stats of what it does when you destroy the black family. The destruction of the black family happened because of Democrats and what they did in the 1960s.
I agree.
LBJ and his Great Society Act and the welfare system. We can talk about all of those things. The very last thing we should be talking about, if I had to make a list of 100 things that's really screwing up the black community, white supremacy wouldn't make the list. The idea that white supremacy is a thing
that's it. So she just brought out that we are destroying each other. That's what happened. That's what happened. Appreciate you, officer. So that's basically what's going on. But you know why the brother said that, and you know why people can't see that? Get that in Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 28.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
Because the Lord smiting us with blindness. The Lord hit us where we can't see that this is an issue in our community. And it said madness of heart, meaning we are crazy. We are crazy. We can see every other nation prospering, but we feel like the way we prosper is going by our strong, independent black women. What do? They go buy Gucci bags, Louis V, Louis this, Louis that, whatever. They go out and they become video vixens. They sell drugs to their community. They oppress their men. They say they can do it by themselves. That is madness. God created you with a man and a female, but you feel like you can do it all by yourself. That's pure madness. But we're the only people that think like that. But God said that this would be a curse. These are the curses. Get that in Isaiah 3 and verse 12. Because this is if it's madness, then let's find out what was the result of the madness of not having the man in the house. Read.
Isaiah chapter 3 verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy past.
So it says the children are oppressors. Then when you read down, it says they that lead thee, they which lead thee cause thee to error. Who are the leaders in our community? The strong black woman. They became the voice of the community. That's why every time you go to an event, there's always a black woman at the head of it. And she's usually a strong, loud black woman who doesn't have a damn husband. And if she does, he's a simp. That's usually what it is. Because man, we'll touch on it. We're getting close to it. All right, from there, get 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 8. Because these children that oppress our community are coming from single-parent households, meaning either the mom is working all the time or the mother had so many damn kids, she don't give a damn. And what did it produce? Read that.
2nd Ezra chapter 5 verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
Menstruous women have brought forth monsters. You know why? It takes a monster to bring forth a monster. And guess what? The monster is birthing another monster. That's what's happening in the black community. And that monster is your loudmouth grandmammy and your loudmouth sister and your loudmouth mama and your loudmouth daddy. Because he's a damn female too. Because the majority of the time, these men are more sensitive than the women. Because the women has to be strong. So guess what? In turn, the man is a damn sissy boy. That's what happens. He's feminized. But today, the day of the Geechee is over. As Bishop Yarsop say, the day of the Geechee is over. Real quick, get Lamentations chapter 1 and verse 2. Because what happens when these sisters that slept around, hold around, and did all this stuff in their lifetime, and then their children end up getting killed by gun violence, end up going to prison to life, getting in prison for life, or getting caught up in the system, or end up catching a disease? What happens?
Lamentation chapter 1 verse 2. She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she hath none to comfort her.
So this is talking about Israel in a whole. But let's narrow it down. Let's get the microscope. Let's talk about the black woman. It says she weepeth sore. That's what happens. She weeps sore. Read on. In her tears.
And her tears on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she hath none to comfort her.
None of the men that she had all them babies with want to comfort her. Why? Because she's a strong, loud-mouthed black woman. Read on.
All her friends have dealt treacherously with her.
Her friends deal treacherously with her because they don't correct her. Usually, bad bees motivate more bad bees to be bad bees. That's the reason why you have a whole avenue of Cardi B's, Nicki Minaj's, and all these other bad bees. But there was another video I had. It's very vulgar, so I'm not playing it. But in that video, the sister said, we look up to these women, and then come to find out these women are in relationships. Hey, Beyonce's promoting our women to leave their man or to be bad bees too. But what is she? She's married to Jay-Z, having a nice life with him. But what do we get from them? We get more bad bees. Why? Because that's what sells. Because that's what the white man wants. The white man wants us to do that. So guess what? We start doing it because we want to promote that. So now we have a destroyed community, and then we try to pretend like we care by putting together all these activist groups, because every one of them supports a group that's trying to help the black community, supposedly. But it's all for their benefit, so they look good on face to keep their money coming in. But that's it on that. No, all her friends. Read that.
All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies.
They're just like Esau. They have lied to her. And you know how else they become enemies? Because black women and black women never get along. They always fall out. There's always a problem. There's always a situation, especially in the world. It happens in the truth, but even more so in the world. So from that, give me what I'll have from there. Give me the next video, the pink, the one that you pulled up the first time.
Want a independent, strong woman.
That is a fact. I'm almost willing to say all.
Nah, that's it.
I ain't gonna say that.
Go ahead.
Pause it. So when you hear from the beginning of the video, the question was, do you want a strong black woman? And he's a strong black independent woman. And he said, no man ever wants an independent black woman. Play on.
All.
Nah, that's it.
I ain't gonna say that.
Go ahead.
Nobody wants that. Because the word independent means I don't need you, and that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, that's the simp.
Yes,
you got one simp in every room.
I want an independent, strong woman.
Let me get.
I need it.
We don't need. That is a defense mechanism. It is out of habit. It is out of I have to do this. Independent, strong women do not want to do that. They want to rest. They want to be.
Let's break down that an independent.
So wait, pause that. So she said the strong, independent black woman doesn't want that, meaning she doesn't want to be independent because that's not her natural state. Press play.
Just a functioning human adult.
No, she's
that is the
not.
dumbest.
So this sister says that she's a functioning human as a strong black woman. But no, you're not. You're not functioning. And to be real with you, you're not dependent on the black man. You're dependent on something. And it's Esau. That's who you become dependent on. Because an independent black woman is an illusion. That is an illusion. From there, get me Numbers 30 and verse 3. Read that.
The book of Numbers, chapter 30, verse 3. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand.
So this is the dependency of even the man, even in prayer, because when you read this, it says in her father's house. She's dependent on her father. That's how God created it. Read.
And every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand.
So he has the power to disallow her vows. Now from there, jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. But if her husband disallow her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow what she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her.
So now the husband, once she leaves her father's house, she goes to her husband. She has a husband, and her husband has that same power over her. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. All right, let's run through it. Might need 15.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
So the desire of the woman belongs to the husband, meaning he has rulership over the woman, meaning there is no such thing as the independent black woman. It's not supposed to be in existence. This is a dysfunctional thing that we're living in today, having a strong black independent woman. It's dysfunctional. Get me Sirach 25 and 24. Sirach 25 and verse 24.
Sirach chapter 25 and verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die.
So of the woman is the beginning of sin. That's the reason why God had to put the man to rule over. It was already so from the beginning, but God had to let you know the reason why, because from her is all sin. Every sin. That's why you have rule over her prayers. Because you don't know what that crazy woman might utter out her mouth. You might be, hey, Lord, don't listen to her. Lord, I pray. Hey, don't listen to her, Lord. All right, from there, give me Sirach 42 and verse 9. No, skip Sirach 42. Give me Tobit 6 and 12. Tobit 6 and 12.
The book of Tobit, chapter 6 and verse 12. And the maid is fair and wise. Now therefore hear me, and I will speak to her father. And when we return from rages, we will celebrate the marriage. For I know that Raguel...
7 and 12. 7 and 12, my bad. 7 and 12.
Tobit, chapter 7, verse 12. Raguel said, then take her from henceforth, according to the manner, for thou art her cousin, and she is thine. And the merciful God give you good success in all things.
So it's always been the man's duty to the father to give off the daughter. And then when it says, and she is thine, meaning she belongs to you. She is your property now. You have to watch over. She belongs to you. So from there, get Luke chapter 2 and verse 36. So let's say she's an older woman and her husband passes away. what is her duty then? Read that.
Luke chapter 2, verse 36. And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Penuel of the tribe of Asher. She was of a great age and had lived with an husband 77 years from her virginity. And she was a widow of about 84 years.
84 years, read.
Which departed not from the temple, but served God with fastings and prayers night and day.
So she served God night and day. She became one of the women in the church that served God night and day. And she was under the leaders of the church, because the Most High God has set up leaders in the church, which would at the time were your priests, and you had those that had their different offices in the church. But she was not the head of the church. She was not your female pastor that you see today. That's not what was going on. From there, get Exodus chapter 1 and verse 15. Exodus 1 and verse 15.
Exodus chapter 1 and verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Sifra, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
So so the nations, just like today, they're trying. This was Egypt trying to set up good economics. They wanted to destroy the black man. They want to take him out of the household. That's what was going on. They were trying to destroy the coming of another Messiah, just like they're doing today. Read on.
But the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them.
So they didn't do what the king of Egypt said to do. And when you read on, it shows that they got a blessing from the Lord from not doing what the king had commanded them. And you know what? They gamed him up too. And the reason why is because they love their nation. Today, our women, they'll sell their soul for anything. Why? Because they're independent, strong black women. From there, get me 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 8. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 8. What did our sisters understand back then?
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man.
So our sisters understood that they weren't of the man. That they were of the man. That's what our sisters understood. They understood that they needed their man and that they had a position to hold in society, meaning they were what? The weaker vessel, like you read in 1 Peter 3 and 7. Now read verse 3. They understood this.
Verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God.
They understood the order. They understood that they had a head. But you know what's funny? All our sisters didn't understand that during this captivity and throughout the captivities that we went through. Because when God brought something new in the earth, it didn't just happen today. It happened back then. That's why Paul had to write the letter to let them know, hey, this is the order. There is no strong black woman. You are not the head of the house. It had to be reestablished. So from there, get the Willie Lynch. Get the Willie Lynch. Skip the video and get the Willie Lynch.
The breaking process of the African woman. Take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly. Test her in every way because she is the most important factor for good economics.
So they understood that the woman was the most important factor to good economics. Read.
If she shows any signs of resistance in submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use your bullwhip on her to extract the last bit of bitch out of her. Take care not to kill her, for in doing so, you will spoil good economics.
That's the reason why they kill the men and not the women. The majority of the time, it's the men that get killed first before the woman because they understand that she is good economics. She's the one that's going to keep these kids going to prison. She's the one that's going to keep these men thinking that they got to go get this, that, and the third. She is good economics. Read.
When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in the early years to submit to labor when they become of age.
So that's what she's going to train her offspring to do. So from there, get Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 44. What comes out of that training? What do we get from her being this way, this strong black woman, it keeps the cycle going, and we're reading about it in the Bible. Read that.
Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 44. Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter.
As is the mother, so is your daughter. Read that first part of 45.
Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loatheth her husband and her children.
You hate your children and you hate your husband. This is a fact. We see it today. Now from there, get that next video. The Tiana Teller, whatever her name is, Tiana Teller. Play that.
It's bugged out. Even times when we get serious with her, it's like when she walk away, we both gotta try and get the laugh out before she hears it.
Do me a favor and see what her bottle is.
Look how she acts.
Exact same face. Y'all ask for more favors than anybody in this house, and when y'all get asked something, y'all both want to make a face.
And he rich.
Excuse me?
Y'all are the most.
See the attitude she got? And he simped up.
Don't try to make my mama kick you out this house.
It's his house.
Hardly matter.
And she throwing threats.
That ass wrong.
All right, that's it. So this is what comes out of the strong black woman. She's disrespectful. She hates her husband and she hates her children to keep this cycle going. Now get the next video. It's the video Deli Rap Crew table. There you go. Play that.
This last topic, actually, because we gotta get up out of here. All right, so I want to know, who do women go to for advice?
Their mamas. Yeah.
There you go.
Wait, let's make this more interesting.
As is the mother, so is the daughter.
And who is allowed to hold women accountable?
Their mothers and their children.
That's it?
No husband.
I say children because your children are going to be critical of you as their parent, no matter how old they get. That's why
children are oppressors.
Where we get older and they say it's traumas of your childhood because you hold your parents accountable for how you were raised, your morals, your standards, your values,
certain things you saw, or something.
Period. And that's why I say children can hold their parents accountable when they get of a certain age.
Yeah.
When you get of a certain age, you're like, damn, Ma, why was this going on? Or, damn, Ma, why you kept my dad out of my life?
You see this?
You know, and
you see
that's
this?
where holding your parents accountable comes into play.
This is the nonsense that goes on in the black community. Real quick, get Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. This is what it's supposed to be. Because our women, because it's natural for a woman to go to a woman for advice. And it be her mother or her elder or the person that she looks up to. It's biblical. But this is the advice that they're supposed to give. Read that.
Titus chapter 2 verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things.
Teachers of good things. Read on.
That they may teach the young women to be sober.
To be sober.
To love their husbands.
To love their husbands. Not baby daddy. Not to jump off at the club. Their husband. Read on.
To love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed.
So when they don't do this, they're blaspheming. They're doing blasphemy on God's word. That's blasphemy of God's word when you don't keep the order what God set up. From there, get the next video. Let's see how a woman treats the man that she's with. Play that. Nope. The Jocelyn video. I know I sent it. It's the one right after that. Yeah, that one. Press play.
You just have to be patient with each other, and go through it.
So this is the elder woman telling her she got to be patient with her husband.
Couple in the whole world.
We would be, but you know what? That's why we wouldn't date.
You didn't want to date him anyways. He's a prick.
Disrespecting the man.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you. Being irritated and nagging, I don't think Jocelyn knows the meaning of teamwork. I always tell you, hey, remember those words.
Pause it. He said that she knows the meaning of teamwork. Teamwork is 50-50. There is no 50-50. There isn't that. But that's the mindset that our men have. So therefore, he's a simp because if you say 50-50, somebody's going to have 60 and somebody's going to have 40. Somebody's going to have 70, somebody's going to have 30. And she is the one, like we read in the article earlier. She's the one. Press play on that.
It's all good.
I'm not remember. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not remembering what you talking about. How about that?
That's good.
I remember you talking about.
There you go. So very disrespectful. She's very disrespectful. When you watch more, she does a lot more disrespect in a matter of 30 seconds. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 23. A wicked woman obeyeth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart.
So a wicked woman takes away the courage of a man, makes him weak, destroys his mind, makes him not want to do the work, makes him not want to do the X, Y, and Z. And that might be why some of these brothers in here sitting in the chairs don't put in work, is because their wife might be destroying them. Their wife might be the one that has 70 and they got 30. They have a strong black woman at home. But that destroys the family. That destroys everything. Ezekiel 16 and verse 14. Almost done, y'all.
Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 14. And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty.
Because this is what our women trust in now, their beauty. Read on.
For it was perfect through my comeliness, which I have put on thee, saith the Lord. Saith the Lord God. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty, and playest the harlot because of thy renown.
So this is why women are the way they are, is because they know that they look good. They know that the black man usually wants them. And to the point they get annoyed, and then next thing you know, nobody really wants the black woman anymore because she's loud and stubborn. But hey, you know what? Strong black men are going to go in there and they're going to lay down their foot and they're going to get things in order, especially those ones that are keeping the commandments. We ain't with it. We gonna correct it. Because the majority of the sisters that was in here started off as strong black women. But guess what? We gonna use God's laws to get it up out of them. Or either that, you know what it is. Read on.
And pointest out thy fornications on everyone that passeth by.
Basically, they play the hoe. They play the harlot with everybody. And their fornications also goes into the communication that they spew out to these sisters. From there, get me 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9.
1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
You're not supposed to. Your looks is not the main thing. Read.
With shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair, or golds, or pearls, or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works.
Read on.
Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
So is the woman is not supposed to care about her looks. She's supposed to learn in silence and be subject to her husband. Read on.
But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man.
Meaning she is not over a man. That's what God says. So tell the black woman that God says that she is not over him. Because you are not a strong black woman. And when you come into repentance, you got to change that too. You got to take that off of you and fall in the order that God set up. You make yourself submissive to God. And when you do that, guess what? You're going to be submissive to everything that's coming out of this Bible, including listening to your husband. Real quick, from there, get me 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 12.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 12. Having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith. And with all they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not.
So they speak things in their busybody, they're gossiping. This goes on in Israel. But we understand, sister, you're trying to repent. But you got to get that off of you, because these are characteristics of that strong black woman that keeps things, they're messy. They're messy. That's what strong black women usually are. They're messy. Read on.
I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully.
Read.
For some are already turned aside after Satan.
But some of you are already going after Satan. And we can't do nothing for you. That's what it is. It is what it is. Some of you sisters aren't going to change. Now from there, get me Jeremiah chapter 8 and verse 11. Last few scriptures.
Jeremiah chapter 8 and verse 11. For they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace.
Our sisters think there is peace, but God says there is no peace. Get Isaiah 59 and verse 8. There is no peace. We at war out here, and you got to see that. And you got to get behind your black man, your Israelite man, and you have to support him. Sisters who are in here sitting down, sisters that are hearing this word, you have to support your black Israelite man and support our leadership. That's what we have to do. That's what our sisters have to do. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 59 and verse 8. The way of peace they know not.
Because you guys, majority of the time, our sisters don't know peace. They don't know the way of peace. The peace is found in the scriptures. Read.
And there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths.
There's no judgments in our going. We saw that in the video with the young sister, with the sister and her daughter disrespecting the husband. There's no judgment. Is that in on verse 8?
No, sir.
Read.
Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace.
And whoever follow them, follow the ways of these sisters, you're not going to know peace. Why? Read verse 7.
Verse 7, their feet run to evil.
They run to evil. They run down to the clinic to go get that abortion. They run to go get that plan B. Read.
They make haste to shed innocent blood.
They kill our children. They kill them by first by some of them having abortions. Then you got secondly by giving birth to them and allowing them to become subject to the same problems you went through by pushing the same strong black woman independency on the children. And now they have children. And now you effeminized our men. Now you got gay men running up and down the block, and you got masculine women. That's what's going on. Read on.
Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths.
Everything about them is destruction, and all that's in that path is destruction. Jeremiah 8 and verse 9.
Jeremiah chapter 8 and verse 9. The wise men are ashamed. They are dismayed and taken. Lo, they have rejected the word of the Lord. And what wisdom is in them?
It's the man's fault because we didn't do the right thing. So guess what? By us not leading the house, us not applying the wisdom that God gave, it's destruction. But I'm here to tell you right now, it's the rebuilding of the nation. And these brothers that you see in purple and gold, we ain't playing with you, sis. We ain't got time for you. We ain't got time for the weak brothers. We are here to build our nation. So the day that of when we used to do this and how we used to carry ourselves, it's over. We are trying to bring God's kingdom back on earth. Read.
Therefore, I will give their wives unto others. And
Isaiah 32 and verse 10.
Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 10. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women.
So many days and many years you're going to be troubled. You know why? Because you're going to be stuck raising that child all by yourself. Read.
For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble.
So the gathering is not going to come, and the nations know this, that the gathering is not going to come without our sisters with us, because we came into captivity with you and we're leaving out with you. And I guarantee it, and if you don't want to leave out with us, your strong black butt going to be left right here in Babylon to burn, baby, burn. All right, from there, get me Sirach chapter 26 and verse 22.
Sirach chapter 26 and verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, Sirach chapter 26, verse 22, and harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death.
Maintain. No, I want maintain. You was at the right verse.
Sirach chapter 25 verse 22.
25.
A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
So we understand why you feel like you got to do it by yourself sometimes. But guess what? You don't. Because if you know that you have good men around you and you got strong black men that are willing to help you, you got strong Israelite men that are going to give you God's commandments and show you the right way. Because some sisters in here, they have found the right way. They have gotten married. They have kids. They've been by themselves. But guess what? God, through God's laws, they were strengthened. Read. No, from there, Sirach chapter 33 and verse 18. Because we understand that, hey, when you got to maintain your man, it is hard. Yes, it is hard. And you feel like you got to be that strong black woman. But sis, it is not so. You still the weaker vessel. So if your man don't got a job, you better just work and pray that man get a job. But guess what? You stuck with him. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 18. Hear me, O ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears, ye rulers of the congregation. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again. As long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any.
Don't give yourself over to any men. This is how we get our nation back in line. You don't give your strength to your wife, your children, or another. Don't let no man have rule over your house. Read.
For better is it that thy children should seek to thee, than that thou shouldest stand to their courtesy. In all thy works, keep to thyself the preeminence. Leave not a stain in thine honor.
So when you don't have the preeminence, you leave a stain to your honor. So black men, it's our duty to destroy that stigma of the strong black woman. It's our duty. It's our duty to make them fall in line. From there, give me where am I? Give me Sirach chapter 3 and verse 1. Sirach chapter 3 and verse 1. Read that.
Sirach chapter 3 verse 1. Hear me your father, O children, and do after, that ye may be safe. For the Lord hath given the father honor over the children.
So God gave the father honor over the children. Read.
And hath confirmed the authority of the mothers over the sons.
It takes the man to confirm the authority of the woman. He gives the authority over the woman, meaning she is the weaker vessel, meaning she does not rule over her husband. No, that's not how it works. The man rules over the woman and he gives the authority. And it says, wife, I want this, and done. And she's supposed to follow that commandment. 2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 13.
2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 13.
Because this is what you have to do, men. Read.
Now, therefore, set thine house in order.
You have to set your house in order. And part of that is setting your actual house that you live in. If you have a wife that's disobedient and thinks she's a strong black woman, you set her in order. Read.
And reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble. And now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of men. Put off now the weak nature.
So put off the weak nature. There's no 50-50. You are the strength. The black man is the strength, not the black woman. The black man is the strength of the family. He is the nucleus. So all the black men need to stand up and do what they have to do to destroy that. And what's going to happen in the process of time if you sisters do that? Psalms chapter 144 and verse 12. Last scripture.
The book of Psalms chapter 144 and verse 4.
Verse 12.
Verse 12. That our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth.
Our children are going to be grown up in their youth as plants, meaning they're going to grow up quick. Read.
That our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace.
So our women are going to be as palaces. They're going to be gorgeous. And just imagine the best palace you could think of. Matter of fact, you can't even phantom it. Just like you can't phantom how beautiful Eve was that made Adam simp. The God on earth simped after the black woman. But that day is at an end. That day is over. We're no longer giving the preeminence to the black woman. Because you know why? Because the day of the Israelite man, it has already begun. And we're destroying that. And with the fall of Babylon is the fall of the strong black woman. And with that, I say shalom.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.